push in like just learning more, just diving into books like never before, wanting to learn more.
So for me, I would say that I had a slightly different experience.
Yeah.
Like life for me was like everything that I wanted in life, like I was gonna have to earn it. It didn't
Right.
matter how many hours that I was gonna have to work. Like if I was going to become anything, I had to earn it. So when I got really sick from inflammation and the skin was falling off, I really was in a place like, man, there's nowhere to go. And that I have to get through this, and I will get through this. You know, I remember my mom looking at me and being scared that I was going to die. She thought that I had cancer because of the level of my health. Obviously, I lost weight. My skin was all wrinkled and shriveled up. And at that moment in time, I just knew that I was going to find the answer. As I felt more pain, I was able to then seek out different answers. But what it did do is it did open me up, like you said, be open. I became a lot more open to look for answers in a way that I never really did before.
Yeah.
And so I heard something a couple of weeks ago that really hit me. And it says, the pain in life is your wisdom. And so sometimes when I think about my purpose and I think about why I'm here, I'm guided sometimes by my pains. I'm like, man, what did I go through in life?
Funny enough, the Bible verse of the day, I think it was yesterday, I opened it up and I posted it to my story on Instagram, and it said, I forgot the verse, but it was, you know, the suffering is a gift. Yeah. It says this in the Bible, and it's like it gives you character, and then that gives you
perseverance.
Hope, and it gives you perseverance, and that's what builds you to be stronger, and then you're able to actually appreciate, you know, like the suffering without feeling like, why me? The victimhood that we've been, you know, like kind of trained to be like, oh, poor you, and like, oh yeah, poor me, and
it's almost like it's a complete perspective shift, right?
Yeah.
So when all of a sudden you look at your challenges as this challenge is necessary to evolve me into the person that I was meant to be, all of a sudden you kind of start to embrace each challenge in a completely different way. Although tough and you're going to have your waves, you know that the universe has something bigger in store for you, and that this challenge was necessary for you to move forward on your journey.
Yeah, I think that actually one good thing about like being fitness addicts from young and athletes from young, I think that we've realized, and this is a gift when you're already in the fitness space, you do realize you only get stronger from the hard workouts, the pressure, you know, and that's one thing that it does set you up for success for mentally. Like, I just got to get through this, like 3 more reps. And then I know this is where my growth, you know, like my growth is going to happen. This is when my muscles like rip apart to become bigger. That is one big, huge thing. Can I add one point to that? Yeah, of course.
So it's kind of funny you do that, because in one point, when we feel sore, when we're working out, we feel like we got something done, right? Yeah. We're like, what a great workout. That's amazing, et cetera, et cetera. The funny thing is when we have pain in our bodies, we don't pay attention to it. Instead, we actually try to cover it up in one way or another.
Numb it.
We don't pay attention. So for instance, if I'm eating a food and all of a sudden my stomach gets bloated, I'm going to take a pill to stop that, instead of looking at my diet and saying, what did I just eat just now that's actually causing that? So it's almost like a conundrum. In one way, we're like, pain is good.
We're not listening.
But on the other way, we're like, we're not doing anything about that.
My favorite part, my dad, my whole life, he's been lactose intolerant. Most Black people are. Most adults are. But it was funny. He was like handing out these pills to like make you able to digest dairy or what. I don't know what the pill was, but I was laughing because I was like, why don't you just not eat the dairy? But it reminds you of all those commercials on TV where they're like dancing around after dinner and they have all these like crappy meals. And it's like, oh, I can't eat that because my stomach's going to hurt. Then they take the pill and then they're like, oh, I can eat all the crap I want. It's like,
I remember
maybe your body is trying to tell you.
There was I remember a commercial, just like you said, it was a burger, and the guy ate the burger, and after he ate the burger, he took something called Nazeem.
Yeah.
And then after he took the pill, he felt better again. And so instead of, we look for short-term gratification and how does this taste? How does this feel? Instead of at the end of the day, knowing what's right for us and what's wrong for us.
And interesting enough, you say that because we're also brainwashed to think we're limited in the glory of life when, we can't have we choose not to have one thing. Like, I feel like when we started cooking our own meals and we started only eating, like when we go to restaurants, it's only really quality food.
Agreed.
The experience is so much better. Now you could taste flavors you've never tasted because you're not covering them in sauces and grease that, like we've been conditioned to think is so yummy. When in reality, our bodies have been trying to tell us it makes us sick.
Exactly.
So it's like reconditioning our mind. Like, life can be so tasty, delicious, and you could feel good, as opposed to I have to give up everything that tastes good and feels good in order to have the body and life of my dreams, when it's actually the adverse, where like God wants you to have it all. You just have to be willing to take a look at yourself and listen to your own inner guidance. And like what you said, like we're ignoring all of those signals, those cues, like my belly hurts, I'm gassy.
Bottom line is we do have to pay attention to all of those signals in all areas of our life.
Yeah.
I would say physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We have to really focus on how we feel at this moment and then line it up with what we do want to feel or what we should be feeling.
And it starts with, like, when you really think about it, it starts with the signals in your body. Like, even like when we think about and this is getting deeper into like the mind, but when you think about all the depression and anxiety, that's a physical feeling. Like, I remember having anxiety attacks, and I would say to you, and I've had a couple with you, like during the pandemic, and I was like, okay, I'm having a heart attack. Like I actually physically felt like I was going to die, and I grew up having panic attacks, way less now than ever, but things are so physical. Our body is constantly communicating with us. And why was I having those panic attacks? Because fear was creeping into my head. I was allowing fear to manifest, and my body was trying to tell me, cut it out. Why aren't you trusting? Like, why are you not trusting right now? Like, what can possibly happen to you in this moment on your couch? Like, what?
Agreed. I think that I really do think, though, that numbers, 100% you're right. But I think that there's got to be a level of compassion for all of us.
Right.
Number one, right? Even joking about Nazeem or thinking about all the foods that we ate growing up as a kid, the bottom line is that we were lied to our whole lives. And our parents were lied to. And so what our parents did is they just gave us the
being lied to.
They just gave us the information that they thought was right. Right. So I really think it comes from a place of compassion too. Compassion for them, compassion for ourselves. And once we are able to accept a level of compassion for ourselves, then we're able to move forward knowing that we do want to break these cycles, not only in our life, but maybe in our generation, right? Like, we want our kids to live a healthy lifestyle. We want our kids to take full responsibility for their health and being active in their performance. And to me, that's going to absolutely create an entirely new world right away.